Today we are going to learn how to mix different skin tones. Every person has a different skin tone than the next. So the first thing you want to do, this sounds weird, is you're going to cover your paper in a little bit of white paint. It'll make mixing your colors easier. It can be hard to tell where you put the white paint because you're painting on white paper. But it does not need to be perfect. Just make sure you've got a pretty good coat of white paint on most of the paper, and that's all you need to do. I'm going to paint a darker skin tone, so this is not my skin tone. You'll notice I have extra white paint on my brush, but I do not have any water today. So I'm just going to wipe the excess paint on my messy mat there and get most of the paint off. Yes, my paintbrush still has a little bit of white, but that's okay. To do a darker skin tone, I want to start with brown. Since I did cover my paper in white first, you'll notice that as I add the brown, it starts making it lighter right away. I'm going to keep adding brown and try to cover most of my paper with the brown. Since I want to make a darker skin tone, I do need to add some black, but black is a really strong color. So I want to start with just a little and see how that mixes, and then I can add some more. So you notice that I used a little bit and it really didn't change it too much, so I went and grabbed some more, but it's easier to add more paint. It's hard to take paint away. So if you start with just a little to make it darker and keep mixing and mixing and adding a little at a time, that's better. And also, you won't rip your paper as easily. If you add too much paint, you might rip a hole in your paper. I'm noticing that my paint, the color of my paper here is starting to get a little more gray than I want it, than brown. So I'm going to go and add a little more brown, and then I think I'll be close to done. So if you have a dark skin tone, you can start with that white and then brown, and then you can put your hand by your paper. Do you see if it's close to your skin tone or if you still need to add a little something? For my next example, I'm going to make my own skin tone, and my skin tone is pretty light. You'll notice that as I'm doing the same first step as the last paper, so I'm adding white. It is turning brown because I had a little brown left over on my brush, but that's okay because I am gonna need that because my skin isn't actually white. My skin is kind of peachy, and peach is really a light version of orange. So the first thing after I add all my white is I'm going to make orange on my paper. We talked a few weeks ago about how yellow and red makes orange. So I'm going to start by adding yellow all over my paper. And once I get my paper covered with yellow, I'm going to go right on top and add some red. Red is similar to black in that red is also a strong color. That means it takes just a little bit to overpower everything else that's already on the paper. So when I add my red to make orange, I need a lot of yellow and just a little bit of red. So I am going to start mixing my red to make orange. Now I'm pretty close to orange on my paper, but we said that peach is a lighter orange. So if I want to make a color lighter, I have to add white. So I'm going to get some more white after getting the excess paint off of my paper using my messy mat, and then I'm going to mix some more white into my orange. I can use my hand and put my hand up next to my paper to check and see if it's close to my skin tone or if I still need a little more white. And that's a quick way to make your skin tone. It takes some trial and error and a lot of mixing. Remember, start with white and then you'll either add brown or you'll make some orange. Good luck!